All right, Coach, we'll start with you. Just give us an opening statement on getting to Atlanta, getting settled in, and how bowl preparations have gone so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we're very excited to be here. Very prestigious bowl. We appreciate, number one, the city of Atlanta. Obviously, Chick-fil-A, the Peach Bowl Committee. The Omni's doing an unbelievable job making us feel at home. So, really exciting opportunity for our kids. I thought they played their butt off all year. To have the opportunity to compete in the New Year's Six Bowl. More importantly, to have the opportunity to win 11 games for the first time in the history of the program. I think shows what they've done this year, the legacy that they curate moving forward and set a new standard. So they've been working extremely hard. Practices have been going well. The transition from Oxford to Atlanta was very smooth. Coach Kiff's done a great job. So we're excited for the opportunity to play a really elite Penn State team. I think it's very balanced, coached very well, and it's a great opportunity for our kids in front of a big crowd in a great bowl.
All right, thanks, Coach. John, you guys have taken a commanding 2-0 lead in the battle for bowl week, so congratulations. There is a stat. I think the team that wins the battle for bowl week goes on to win the game like 90% of the time. So no pressure or anything. But talk about that and your experiences. What have you enjoyed about the competitions?
Oh man, that's been amazing. This is my first New Year's Six Bowl, so really it's just been like eye-opening. I've never did anything like this. So yesterday, like go-karting and stuff, oh man, that was amazing. Like seeing all the guys rolling around, man, it was so fun. Everybody enjoyed themselves. We were bowling, and then like the first night putting, as soon as we got in, it was just like jump straight to it and just start competing. So that was fun too, watching the guys go ahead and secure those wins. That was great.
Yeah, Jeremiah, what about you? What have you enjoyed so far?
I'll definitely say I enjoyed Andretti last night. Just being able to bond with my teammates. We bonded all year, but just being able to bowl and watch them go kart and see some of them crash was pretty funny last night. So I've been having a lot of fun.
Good deal. All right, guys. All right, we'll go into questions. Raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone. All right, let's start off right here. Third row on the left, please.
Pete, obviously, loss of Cedric, choosing to kind of focus on his next step in his career. But keeping the bulk of this defense for the Peach Bowl and not a lot of opt-outs or any really major injuries, just what does it speak to the mentality of that side of the ball that y'all have created this year?
Yeah, I think number one, I think it starts up top, and I think it's the culture that Coach Kiffin created. And I think we got a really good group of kids that love football. I think a big part of it now is how much do you love football? I think there's some guys that play football for what football can do for them, and then there's other guys that play football that love football. And I think the only way you get better at football is to play football. And so I think these extra 15 practices that they bought into, I think all of them have looked at they can increase their value by playing another game and playing well. Whether that's being draft eligible and increasing their value, or that's being a younger player and playing at their best when their best is needed in a big bowl game, and to go and be able to add into that, into the offseason, I think it speaks volumes about the character of the guys in that room. And I think we got a lot of guys that love football, that love each other, that want to compete. And I think, we talked about in the summer of creating a legacy and what was the legacy of this team going to be. And I think having the opportunity to win 11 games for the first time in the history of the program speaks volumes for a lot of guys that are in a locker room for the first time. And they came together and gelled together, and that's credit to Coach Kiffin and the guys in the locker room. So I think it speaks volumes of their character and their competitiveness, to be honest with you.
All right, we'll go fourth row here on the left.
Pete, I know it's a little bit down the line, but you guys have gotten a lot of big-time commits in the transfer portal, a really big-time recruiting class as well. I guess what is your philosophy when it comes to balancing high-level transfers and traditional high school recruiting in team building?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a unique time in college football, to be honest with you, and I think now it's more as building teams and programs, and don't take that the wrong way, just because the transition happens so fast, and developmental players that you used to take that be able to add bulk and size and strength. Some of those guys, depending upon their mental makeup, you're not going to have a chance to develop, because they're not going to come in play as true freshmen, and depending upon who's in their circle, December hits and the portal opens, then they might seek other opportunities. And you've invested 6 to 10 months, depending upon if they were mid-semester or summer, that you're not going to get back, that they're not going to get back. And so I think it's recruiting the right type of kid, regardless whether it's a transfer kid or a high school kid, that goes back to loving football. I think there's got to be a connect of why they want to be at Ole Miss, why they want to play for Coach Kiffin. why they want to play in a scheme that's been successful and being around coaches that have been around guys that produce guys to get to the next level. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things. But I think, whether you're high school recruiting or portal recruiting, the number one thing is it a good fit? And I think, Ole Miss isn't for everybody. And I think they come in and they see our guys. I think our current players do a really good job on official visits of being honest, and telling them what it's really like. And I think there's no smoke and mirrors to where, hey, you're getting told one thing when you get there, it's something different. I appreciate that much about Coach Kiff, and he's very honest and upfront. We got a great group of guys, great character, that are really good football players that I think a lot of people want to be a part of right now.
All right, and just as a reminder, we do have a few of the Ole Miss players that are out in the breakout room if you guys want to go grab them, but they will be in here next, okay? All right, over here, row 2 on the left.
Pete, obviously this Penn State offense right here, this Penn State offense has done a good job taking care of the football and just kind of being physical on the line of scrimmage. Just, when looking at this team on film, what's the biggest thing that pops off, and in what ways do they compare to some of the other teams that you've prepared for on y'all's schedule through 12 games?
Yeah, I think they do a great job of being balanced. I think they stay on course. I think the quarterback does a really good job of managing the game. I think that Franklin system, being able to get in and out of certain plays based on the looks that they're getting, they do a really good job of. Obviously 15, the quarterback, I mean, he's 80% on level 1 throws, and to throw for whatever it was, 2,400 yards with 1 interception is pretty strong. So he's very smart. I think a big part of that is the system. They're going to make you try to show your hand and kind of know what you're in and dictate the run game and the pass game. And then I think they're very solid up front. They're very well coached. They're physical. They do a nice job in the run game. They're very complimentary based on the fronts and the pressures that you show. I think they got 2 tight ends that are really good players. That can create extra gaps, and they kind of work to isolate, from a pass standpoint, some mismatches on some backers. And then I still think they got, the play action game that they've been successful at when they want to take shots. So very sound, very well coached. So it'll be a big challenge.
All right, let's go right here on the right side.
Pete, twofold question, if you don't mind. One, when you got here to Oxford in January, you guys brought in so many transfer guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Going into the season, what were your expectations for the defense? And then the second question is just what were the main differences going from working for Coach Saban to working for Lane?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one was, for our players, we got a spot the ball mindset on defense, and we don't care if it's practice, the playoffs, or the playground. Like, spot the ball, we're going to play. And I think when you have new guys and you're coming into a new year, it's about competing and about getting better every day. I don't think at that point, like, hey, our goal wasn't to win 11 games. We weren't focused on the outcome. It's like, hey, how can we take day by day to learn the system a little better, to learn each other better, to practice harder, prepare harder in order to play better football. And I think those start stacking and they start adding up. And you got guys practicing extremely hard, playing hard. I mean, we probably rotate 28 guys in any given game on defense, which shows the depth that we have on that side of the football. And it's neat to see the buy-in. And you want for other guys to play well. And they start pulling for them. And they start coaching them in meetings and all those. So to see the development of that piece, that I think correlates to winning and losing, instead of focusing on the outcome, focusing on working your butt off and doing little things right. And I think, obviously, towards the end of the year, we played our best football because those things started to stack up. But I think, the credit goes to the players. I think they bought in. It's a really good group. They played extremely hard. And there's some games that we probably want back, but, they did some really good things to put ourselves in this position. The second part of the question, I think it's very similar from a football standpoint. I think, obviously, Coach Kiff, the things – when you're with Coach Saban for so long, both of us, you try to take the things, all right, you're successful because of this, all right? And then some places you're successful in spite of certain things. And I think he's done a really good job of the discipline of the program, the football-specific things that help you win championships, but putting his own personality on it. And I don't think you have to take the blueprint from A and bring it to B. I don't think it always fits. And so I think he's done an extremely good job of still being himself, but still taking a lot of really good things that both of us learned from Coach Saban, implementing the same things that he already knew and he learned from other guys. But I think number one is being himself.
All right, over here, 4th row on the left.
Pete, over here. Obviously, a lot of discussion about what you've done in the transfer portal. What did you set out to achieve, in that regard at the end of the regular season?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think you look at it like, hey, we're going to do everything in the portal. I think you look at it as like, all right, what are your needs? I think that's ever changing now, right? It used to be you knew, hey, who were seniors, who were draft eligible guys, right? That you had to replace certain number per position. You had initials where that's over, so I think your pool is bigger than it's ever been because you just don't know who you're going to have and who you're not going to have. But I think your program starts to recruit itself. And number one, I think winning football games is big. I think now the platform that you have on social media and all that, I think Coach Kiff does a really good job of. And all these guys can increase their brand by playing under Coach Kiffin and playing for Ole Miss, which I think is big. But I think more importantly than all that, I think you have guys like these two guys sitting up here. It's their first season. They're a New Year's Six bowl game. They're at a press conference, and it's two transfers. It's the first season. So the opportunity to go somewhere, to be able to compete immediately, to be productive where you're at, to be able to produce, to increase your value. I think once guys see guys doing that and making an immediate impact, they want part of that. And there's a lot of programs that take transfers that they go in and they get lost. And they're not taking them to be stars. They're taking them for the bottom half of their roster because that's who they're losing. And so I think it's more these guys selling it by how they play, how quick they've learned the system. I think Coach Kiff has really helped me on that to simplify the defense because it's kind of like more pro right now to where you're taking guys off the streets and they got to get ready to play. And so that 3 to 4 year system where you had a lot of places and you got guys in there multiple years, it's not the same. So you can't expect a guy to come into the summer like some of these guys and, get that system down before game 1, September 1st. So simplifying things and allowing guys to play, find what they do well, package that and ask them to do that. And it's for them to have the success they've had. So I think it's more on the players than us, to be honest with you.
All right, next row, right here in the front row on the right.
Yeah, this question's for John and for Jeremiah. Obviously, throughout the season, ebbs and flows, highs and lows. So I just wanted to ask both of you, was there anyone on the team that you maybe leaned on throughout that time to, kind of keep your mind focused, or maybe even someone else on a different team across the country?
Obviously, we're a team, we're a brotherhood. So whenever times did get hard during the season, we just went to one another and found ways for us to improve ourselves and be better the next week.
Yeah, for me, I lean mostly on like safeties because that's what I'm with the most of the day. So like safeties and corners, we got a tight bond. We got like a group chat and stuff. So if anything like is a little rocky, like we know that we can lean on each other and just call on one another and just they'll always be there for us.
All right, we'll go next, front row on the left.
Hi, thanks for the time. Joe Smeltzer, Nittany Sports Now. So for all three of you, Pete, you talked about Penn State's offense as a whole, but specifically the two running backs, Nicholas Singleton, number 10, Katron Allen, number 13. What have you seen from those guys that have stuck out? Because they've been playing at a high level pretty much since the day they set foot on campus. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think number one, I think any good running back will tell you, the 5 guys for them, the 6 or 7 guys based on the personnel grouping they're in, help that. But I think both of them run with really good balance and body control. I think they have really good contact balance, constant leg drive. I think they're hard to break down. I also think, they really understand schematically what they're trying to do. I think they have really good patience and letting blocks set up. I think they do a good job of reading the second level and knowing when to cut back and knowing to press certain things. So, I mean, you can tell they're very well coached. They're very veteran in what they do, and they're really good players. So it's going to be a very, very big challenge.
All right, John, how about you next?
Yeah, watching the running backs, they're good backs. They run hard, so we just got to make sure every play to hit, wrap, and run and just drive them back, and just gang tackle as a team. Like everybody, all 11 hats to the ball every play, just to make sure to polish off the ball carrier every play.
Piggybacking off John, as they said, they do run hard, but we got guys too, so we're going to come hit you too.
All right, row 3 on the left.
For John and Jeremiah, Pete alluded to it. This is not even y'all's, not even your full year with this team from when y'all, transferred in. How would you sum up y'all's season, with your game and with a whole new defense and just trying to adapt to all the newness that you've had to so quickly?
I'd say my experience here, adapting to the defense, man, breathtaking. Great experience here. I love it here. I love Ole Miss with my whole heart. Life-changing. I love it here.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just thankful and grateful, like, to have this opportunity because, like, just coming from, like, a smaller conference and then coming to the best conference in, like, American football is it's really amazing. So I'm really just appreciative and just trying to make sure to just keep soaking up as much knowledge as I can, just keep getting better day in and day out, honestly.
All right, let's go second row right here on the left.
Pete, I asked you during the preseason just about recruiting in the state of Mississippi and just kind of what separates those Mississippi recruits apart as far as their mentality. And when you look at the 2024 signing class, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, is it safe to say they have that common denominator in them all?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, I think they love football. I think they're tough. I think they're competitive. I think I got a little chip on their shoulder. And I think, you know, this class set by the guys on this team, I think they can see it, that they can do something special here. And I think when you get a lot of good players that are good people and you get them on the same team and you got the same common goal and you got the right guy from the top. And I think, you know, there's certain places that are aligned correctly, in my opinion, from the chancellor to the athletic director to the head coach. When that's aligned and you get good players, special things happen. And I think they're all seeing that. And I think that's a testament to our team this year, you know, making those guys see that. I think to our staff from a recruiting standpoint, number one, you know, identifying the right guys, evaluating them correctly, making sure they're the right type of kids. And for them to take a step in, you know, in faith, to be honest with you. And it's like, hey, we can win a national championship at Ole Miss. You know, and I think Coach Kiff has set the precedent. Like, the best players in Mississippi are going to stay and play at Ole Miss. So I think that was the emphasis, and I think for the most part we got that done.
All right, over here, row 4 on the left.
Pete, how do you see Centurion Perkins' positional future playing out? You know, it seemed like you used him mostly a certain way this year. I'm curious if that's going to evolve or not.
Yeah, I think he's a very versatile player, and I think you know, obviously this year, as late as we got him in, I think you got to simplify it, and you know, he's such a good player that you got to have him on the field, and so you try to find certain situations, certain packages to put him in to simplify it and let him be able to react instead of have to think. Obviously, his body type is very multiple to be able to play multiple spots. I think he has flexibility in the position. I think with the spring and another summer, obviously you'll see him at different spots. But, you know, being that athletic, he's very versatile. You know, he'll give us the ability to play him at multiple spots. And I think with the spring and the summer, I think you'll see that.
Okay, right next door.
This one's for John and Jeremiah. Was there a moment or a game or a point in the season where you felt like it all started to click for the defense?
I'd say it basically began in fall camp. Really, once fall camp practice, we realized how good it would be, and we just took that opportunity and just ran with it and knew that we'd be a damn good defense this year.
Yeah, honestly, in fall camp, just going against our offense every day, that just was like really eye-opening for us. Like, the battles we're having every day at practice, you know, like for a month straight, it just got us so much better and just prepared us for this regular season.
All right, anything more for this group? All right, take the last one right here in the front.
All right, so this question's for all three of you. I have to ask because I asked your teammates as well and coaches as well. Does sugar go in grits?
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
Why doesn't it go in grits?
Cheese grits.
Cheese grits. John, you have thoughts?
No, sugar goes in plain grits for sure. Yeah, it does. Sugar and butter.
Coach, what about you?
I'll eat them both ways.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Got some grit connoisseurs up here.
I see. That's what I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Just for an opening statement, talk about how your bowl week experience has been so far and things that you've enjoyed out of the activities that you've gotten to do.
I've been really grateful. Chick-fil-A did a great job of welcoming us and making us feel at home. So grateful is the thing I'd say the most.
Same, you know, we've been, you know, just getting closer and closer, and it's a great team bonding thing, and we've played 2 events and won both, so 2-0 right now. Got to keep it rolling.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun. It's not every day you just get to wake up and have Andretti's run it out, so it's been a great experience so far from Chick-fil-A.
I told the other guys that the team that wins the Battle for Bowl Week belt goes on to win the game like 90% of the time.
See, there it is. 2-0.
So I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying. All right, open it up for questions. Where are we going?
This question's for Trey. Trey, talk to me about these guys next to you. What have you seen from them throughout the season that gives you confidence when they play next to you?
I love playing with these guys. I've seen a lot of growth from game 1 to this game, but their toughness from play to play, and they're willing to work throughout the fall camps and now to this point, it's been very admirable. So I love these guys for sure.
Appreciate that, man.
All right, where we go next? We're just going to go back and forth. All right, I'll start breaking out some stuff now. All right, which I'm going to do right now. All right, guys, talk about. Obviously, you guys this week you've been doing a lot of film study, right? Looking at Penn State's offensive group. Each of you talk a little bit for your positional groups. Talk about what you see on the other side of the ball.
For the O-line, they got a really good O-line. Obviously, they have a top 5 pick tackle, and I just feel like they work like synchronized swimming. Like they all on the same page. They never miss a beat, and they just one heartbeat out there. So I feel like for me and J.I., it's like a great game to put great tape on, great stuff on film, and it's a great opportunity to be able to play against them.
All right,
Yeah,
Trey,
I
what
agree.
about you?
Yeah, very very physical group. With a big physical back running behind them. So it'll definitely be a good opportunity to get out there and put some real physical stuff on tape and get after a high end draft pick and a solid O-line just all together.
Yeah, Trey, what about you?
For me, I'd say the quarterback's arm talent has stuck out. He can make a lot of throws downfield, and he has an incredibly strong arm. I would say number one has stuck out to me. He does a good job of getting in and out of his breaks. His catch radius is really good too. So those are some of the threats that I've seen in film.
All right, anything, guys, or I'm going to keep going. All right, each of you talk about in looking at Penn State, what SEC team does Penn State remind you of? Who do they most closely resemble?
I would say Arkansas. Obviously, the quarterback is about the same size. So, yeah, I would say Arkansas, their receivers. Arkansas receivers, they were long, physical, kind of like this team, and their offensive line was physical and willing to get contact as well with a big running back. So, I would say Arkansas.
Okay. JJ?
I say they run scheme maybe is built like Georgia Tech's, just the pistol and all the stretch and mid zone and stuff like that. But they do use their tight ends very well and a lot, and they are very physical and talented. So I feel like the tight end group really completes the whole offense of the run game, just because I mean, a tight end is a part of the O-line and a part of the receiver, which something I used to play back in my heyday. So I get them the props that they deserve.
Yeah. All right. Jared, what SEC team they remind you of?
Oh yeah, like JJ said, the tight ends are a huge piece of their offense, which kind of reminds me of Georgia. How they were in 12 personnel most of the game. So yeah, kind of an offensive scheme like how Tech had, and then a QB room like from Arkansas, and then kind of a personnel situation like we saw against Georgia. So kind of a mixture of a few schools we've seen this year.
Yeah. I'm still looking at you guys. All right.
All right, so I'm just going to ask one that is not football related. Just want to put that out there first. I asked your teammates, so I'm asking you, does sugar go in grits?
Absolutely. No question. Yeah. Next question.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I would say mine is balanced. I say sometimes I eat sugar. I eat grits with eggs. So when I'm eating with eggs, I don't like sugar in my eggs. So I say sometimes.
All right, hold on now. You're mixing the grits with the eggs?
Yeah, it's good though. It's good though.
That's only a Trey Washington.
My mind has been blown.
Follow-up question, is cereal soup?
No.
Are there cold soups? If you can name one cold soup,
Yeah.
I'd say yes.
Yes, that is sweet. Like, you know what I mean? Some cereal is not sweet, but like, I just think of Fruit
I
Loops.
can't go soup. If you can't name a cold soup for me, I can't go soup with
Gazpacho.
it.
Gazpacho is a cold soup.
Is gazpacho cold? What's in that?
I don't know. Soup stuff.
Well,
All right.
if it don't make you feel better, like my grandma always give me soup to feel better. Cereal.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, guys. I want to ask you about Drew Aller, the Penn State quarterback. I got to meet him a little while ago when they were here earlier this morning. It's a big dude, and he can run, he can throw, he's quick with his decisions. Each of you talk about the challenges that having a quarterback like Penn State has.
For me as a DB, we really don't like smart quarterbacks. So you can tell he's really smart. He takes his check downs when it's there. He's not really forcing the ball downfield when he doesn't have it. And he can make throws. You've seen throws from far hashes on out routes and stuff like that. So we're looking forward to the challenge for sure.
All right. JJ?
Yeah, like Trey said, like he'll just take the check downs. You know, other quarterbacks are very impatient and always want the deep ball, but when he has the deep ball, he'll take it. And also for us, me and J.I. just wrapping them up in the backfield and just bringing them down. Like, I mean, I guess Arkansas was a great game that we really put that on film and was able to just make Arkansas one-dimensional and just by us stopping the run and just being able to rush the quarterback. So I say maybe just wrapping them up and just bringing our feet with them as we bring them down.
Absolutely. He's also not a trade back runner, but he knows how to find space and get the yards when he needs to. He's a big dude, so not letting him get in the open space like that and controlling our rush lanes is very important. I think yeah, he can push the ball downfield with time. So getting after him and speeding up his clock is going to be a big part of Saturday. And yeah, just excited to get out there and get after a big time dude like him.
All right, which one of you two guys is going to get to him first?
Safety blitz.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good.
We have that on film now, so yeah, no pressure. No pressure. How many sacks as a unit are we going to see on Saturday?
Mr. Piggies?
You might see at least 2-3 bow and arrow shot. I tend to shoot bow and arrows when I get a sack. So
all right, that's a big number.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, guys? Okay, we're going to go back here.
I'm asking all the important questions. So just got to ask. So for all three of you, favorite Taylor Swift song?
The one she changed for Travis Kelce.
Where she changed the lyrics?
That was
Okay.
going.
All
I
right,
said
Trey.
shake it off.
Can you sing it?
No, I'm not going to sing that. That's a little embarrassing.
I don't know a Taylor Swift song, so I just said that one.
Well, I actually just entered my T Swift year December 5th, so I would definitely have to say 22.
Can you sing it?
No, I'm okay.
I thought he was going to do it.
The windpipes aren't fully warmed up. You know, I don't like to. Yeah, I mean, there you go.
Just some water.
I like to be prepared to go into things like this. You know, what I mean? I also don't sing for free. So,
All right. Taylor, since you brought it up, I got to ask him: is the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce thing, is that real or fake?
At this point, I think it's real. Like, if she would have came to 2 games, then maybe. But he is traveling with her too, and
Yeah.
I think it's real.
All right. I'm team real too.
You team real.
I got you. All right. Last chance, guys. We're going to let him go. Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.
thank you.